One.
Hello, we are live with Talk to Me with Brenda, Deon, and we have a special guest with us, and everybody recognize Mr. Clifton Powell. Thank you so much for being here, Clifton.
I'm glad to be here.
And it's a special reason he's here. First of all, we love him. And we also gonna have Miss Angie Stone joining us, guys. You got a D-Rob yet?
Yep, she's gonna be coming in a second. Well, yeah, we actually gonna have Angie coming in on live because she was running a little bit behind, so we just gonna get her in live. But well, yes, like we said, we got this award-winning singer Angie Stone, who's been around since the 70s, putting in work, and she's still a master of her craft. And then we have another legend right here, Clifton Powell, who's been in over 100 films.
Yes,
and he's still doing this thing
and looking good, doing his thing. I tell you, what is the secret for not aging?
I use baby pee on my face. Back in my day, you used to take the baby diaper, put it on your face. Just shut up.
Believe it or not,
No. When I first started, I knew it was gonna be a long road. So, I try to take care of myself and no drugs and try to eat right and try to get a little exercise in and just try to be good to people.
Be good to people.
And Beijing 59.
Beijing 59. Okay. Now, speaking of being in a lot, while we waiting on Angie, you are doing a lot of things these days. One of them being Saints and Sinners. Tell us a little bit about your role in Saints and Sinners.
I play a nefarious character named Rex Fisher.
Yes, you do.
He's just a small time hood, and him and the pastor were best friends coming up. And Saints and Sinners is a spinoff of the Under Shepherd. So in Under Shepherd, I played like a pastor that couldn't preach, and so I guess they wanted to bring in the element of Cuddy being like that tough guy I played in Dead President. So Rex Fisher's kind of like a protege of Cuddy, and he just one of those cats that got caught up in the streets. And in a TV series, if you do it long enough, you can see characters grow and develop. Maybe develop, and maybe maybe Rex Fisher / Cuddy might get out of the streets and, turn his life around. So we'll have to see.
We definitely have to see that. I love the characters you play. You're never a wimp. Never. And I
don't know about that. I play some pastors and I play some lawyers and stuff,
But they never were wimpy.
No, they haven't been wimpy,
Even as playing the dad and the brothers, and Morris Chestnut, you said, boy, you better, I'm still your father. I was like, he better show you.
Oftentimes, when you get a script, you read it and either the writer, some stuff that I've done, like the brothers, the writer was one of my cats out of Detroit, and, he felt like I was old enough and younger looking enough to play the father, so the girlfriend could have gone out with the dad. And, it's just the way those characters are written, and I just try to, bring the life to the character. I don't do anything special, just try to find it, the real belief in the character.
Yes, you do.
Method acting. For those who don't know, this is my coach right here, my mentor, and the person that's kind of keeping me going in the acting. Like I said, I thank you. I appreciate everything you do for me, man, and having my back. And one thing I can tell you that everything he told me to study, I studied in the first 2 weeks. Everything, all the books he told me to read, I read them. All the stuff he told me to study, it was knocked out in the first 2 weeks. So that's how hungry and serious I was, and still am about it. But tell them some of the stuff that you have going on besides Saints and Sinners that's upcoming.
I don't have nothing upcoming.
You're telling the story.
I'm going to say, wait a minute.
Really, I'm down here doing Saints and Sinners, and Saints and Sinners just finished. So really now I'm just auditioning, but I'm trying to, segue into producing, and I'm not necessarily sure I want to direct, because I come from the old school, and some of these young people are just not respectful enough and they don't work hard enough. So I'm really trying to really decide if I really want to direct some, because I don't have the patience. But that's really what I'm doing. I'm developing some scripts, and I'm going to start, at some point, I hope before the end of the summer, teach classes. And ultimately, I want to open a school down here, because I think there's a lot of talent down here that's untapped and a lot of talent down here that's being trained the wrong way, you know. So like Deon to tell you, I'm really, you know, I start with the fundamentals of acting and teach the same foundation, you know, when he talked about the method, you know, the Stanislavski system is the method, you know,
right.
Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Meryl Streep, Angela Bassett, Viola Davis, Denzel, Sam, we all study the same system, you know, and I think Taraji, I think we can, you know, the quality of their work is just on a whole nother level. So
right.
I would love to be able to bring that down here to Atlanta and then maybe to DC and, you know, some other places.
Amen. Amen. Now, you said something very interesting. You said you don't know if you have the patience with some of the up and coming actors, and that's what they have to learn, respect, you know, to come to film, especially in Georgia. People are not taking us serious because they say we don't want to invest in our career by taking acting classes and by listening. And I definitely hope you bring acting classes here. Definitely hope you direct, because I'm gonna shoot you some strips I got, you know.
It's just challenging to, you know, try to get through to even this guy right here. With my first couple of classes, you know, he's a big guy and he's tough. And I think from being around me, he realized the kind of grind. Even, you know, and he's one of my talented students. And he did a scene from Mice and Men. It was like riveting, you know, it had us all crying. Wow. But what I try to teach my students, so when I teach my next class, it's gonna be a little differently. I'm gonna teach it a little different, and I'm gonna set up the boundaries a little differently, because I want, you know, people to understand. You see me now, but you didn't see the 20 years of, you know, struggle that I put in, you know, being homeless. I've been homeless 4 times. I lived in a rooming house in New York. I struggled. I used to be a back waiter. I used to sell old clothes at the swap meet. I've done telephone sales. I've done receptionist work. You know, I worked at Covenant House. I put a lot of work in, and I kept training. I kept studying, and so I'm just trying to share with, you know, guys like him and all of my other students and all the new students to come, the type of dedication you have to have if you want to make, you know, a living in this business. You know, it's a lot easier now because there are more outlets, but then there needs to be a training apparatus down here in Atlanta, because it's an influx of new people. And I think some people teach improv technique. Yes. Yeah. Some people teach scene study. Some people teach how to audition. But if you don't have the fundamentals, you're not going to get much, you know, anywhere to the next levels in this business if you don't have the fundamental training. So that's what I'm going to try to do.
Yes. And that's what we fail to realize. You got to go step by step. You got to learn the basics and build from there. And you got to put the work in. Oh, yeah. So do we have Angie showing yet?
Well, Angie, when you come in, let me know. We need you to say some comments so we can bring you in.
She's just not going back to sleep.
She's just not learning how to do this type of stuff.
She's gone back to sleep. Shut up.
I'm gonna tell you guys, while we waiting on Angie, it's a reason we waiting on Angie. These two to my right, they finna get their feelings hurt on the 26th. They're actors, and of course, I am a writer, and it's actors versus authors celebrity ball game for Girls Who Brunch Tour.
Yes, so, which is being hosted by B103, and Zane, the Arthur Zane, is putting this together. It's for the young girls that has been, you know, going through different challenges, and also girls that's just coming up with extremely great talents and getting noticed. You know, so they've been doing a tour. They started last year, and this is the second year they're having it in Atlanta, and just having a whole big weekend with the gala. You have the celebrity basketball game, and you have the award ceremony. So it's going to be a real great weekend from girls ages 9 and up to like 16 to 17 years old.
That's right. I'm just glad I'm not playing. My playing days are over. Deon's like, you can play. I'm like, no. You don't want to see me out there. I barely get up and run to the bathroom at night. I'm not running down no court. I'm too old. And I told him, I said, I don't like to coach either, because I tried to coach Shaq at them one time. I said, Shaq, I think I'm going to take you out for a minute. He said, really? You know what? I'm going to keep myself in. I was like, you know what? I don't even think y'all need me. So I told Deon, I was like, Deon, listen, man, I'm not coming up there to coach and fight with these guys. So y'all just go in and out when you feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll be a coach by proxy.
So, but it should be fun. You know, it's always.
It's all
you know,
in the name of fun, and it's all for a good cause. And thank you for giving back to the community. I know they appreciate it. I went last year and I had fun. I'm gonna be sitting on our sideline.
You're not playing at all.
Oh no, okay. They'll never rough me up out there. My playing days is long gone too. I stopped all that foolishness 40 years ago.
Amen. But no, I think it's important to give back and you know, keep one foot in the community. You know, because I know I came out of the hood and so many people would come and do celebrity games for us and you know, lend food drives and all kinds of stuff. So you know, when Deon called and said it was, you know, a charity event and for the young people, you know, I try to make myself available.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some coaching too with him this year. I don't know if I'm gonna get out there on that court because I didn't get a chance to really condition like that for basketball. You know, I've been so busy. I think I'm gonna be a
that's a good excuse, Deon. How old are you? Like 28? You should be out there.
You know,
well, we're gonna win though. Because I'm tell you right now, we're gonna win that game. I'm a coach. I'm gonna help him coch, and we're gonna actually destroy.
No, you're gonna coach, and I'm gonna be there.
Nah, he's telling you gonna get.
I'm upper management.
Upper management.
I'm just coming down for the day, see how everything going.
Like I talk about when they have food, I'm just here to eat the food. I'm not cooking today. But yeah, that's.
But no, so you see how you talking about he old, but anytime we go out somewhere, we went out this past Saturday and met up with Bill Bellamy and crew. And he was the only one on the floor all night.
Yeah, and then I had to take what's it called, Advil the next day. One of my legs, I got out the bed, the leg was still in the bed. You know, like no, because I'm older, I'm 62, but I be thinking I'm 35, and I'm out there just dancing, and then I get to the house, I'm like, oh man, the next morning I'm like, whoa, because I don't work out, I gotta start working out. And I'm gonna start that next week. I started last year, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So
and I am sitting next to him. He just said he was 62. He has no wrinkles.
I use baby pee on my. I told you no. No, really, honestly, I use Vaseline. I use Vaseline on my skin. And really, the real funny thing is, like I said before, I knew there was going to be a long road for me when I got to New York. Sam Jackson was there, Denzel, Charles Dutton, all those guys were in front of me, Esapatha Murkison. And I knew I had to take care of myself, you know, and in Hollywood, you really, you know, you are who you are when you walk in that room. If you walk in that room busted and broke down, they don't want to hire you, you know. So, you know, and then at this point in my career, I have to reinvent myself. So I'm gonna grow my hair back and I got to keep myself in shape. And I really do have to start working out. So it is really funny because I'm blessed to you know, I'm aging well, but it's a part of my job, and I try to teach my students that, you know, how you eat and watching your intake of alcohol and drugs. And luckily, I had the discipline that I didn't do drugs. You know. Amen.
You know what's funny? Rodney and I was talking about health playing a big part in our life. You know, Rodney had a stroke about 18 months ago, and about 5 months now. They told me I had MS. They knew about it a year ago, but they didn't tell me. I knew I had a lot of symptoms that wasn't explained by what they were saying, but I found out the way you eat and exercise and your health play a big part. So I definitely understand what you're
I'm taking if you haven't had it, if you haven't taken it, black seed oil, it is incredible.
Tell me about
but the other thing is that I think that you know, when you do a SAG movie, so everybody out there understand, you know, if you're playing one of the first 3 leads, you got to take a physical.
Yes.
And if you don't pass your physical, you won't be in the movie. And when I say physical, you have to go in for an exam.
Yes.
You know, and it's not a full physical, but you gotta your blood pressure's got to be right. You gotta be, you know, able to, you know, handle yourself physically on a movie set. And if not, you know, every movie, like say Ray, for instance, has to post a bar.
Yeah.
You know, and if the actors are not bondable because they have health issues, you won't be working, you know. So that's another incentive, you know. And then as we get older, you know, I feel like I want to live to be like 150. I'm watching the game. I go to the casino. I'm hanging out with this nut right here. I'm at the Sweet Lounge. My girl is 31. I got to stay on top of my groove.
Y'all hear that? No, he ain't lying.
My girl's 31.
Y'all got something to say? If you got something to say about it, say something else.
And shut up, Nook. Listen,
that's keeping you young right now.
I keep myself young. But the thing is that, you know, the real bottom line is, and we joke and having fun, but, you know, it's really like age is just a number to me, you know, and at the end of the day, I think you just have to understand that age is just a number. You know? We got the Kool in the Gang is right next door.
Yeah, all the time.
Just hold on. Lionel Richie and them getting ready to go back on the road. I know y'all heard that. That's Lionel Richie is next door.
Yeah, so we can't kick them out. But anyway, back to, you know, being your age. I have went on set going for one role. You know how they give you this age span. Mm-hmm. We're looking for an African-American female age 35 to 45.
To 70.
But look, when you walk in that door, you better be looking 35. They'll tell you that high end, but
it's really I think we're moving into an age too where people are taking better care of themselves, and you know, I think the real bottom line is that you can add 10 to 15 to 20 years of your life if you change your diet.
Yes.
And you know, put more vegetables and fruit and lean meats. And you know, there's a book that everybody out there should get called Eating with Mother Nature by Dick Gregory.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, Dick Gregory used to be, 350 back in the day. And, you know, eliminate pork and because especially now, the thing that I talk to, you know, when I talk to my students, because when I teach classes, I teach lifestyle too. I talk about money. We talk about relationships. Yes. We talk about everything. You know, how to handle your life insurance, because a lot of actors have passed away that I'm not going to name that didn't have life insurance and didn't have benefits. So I share all the things that nobody taught me and mentored me in the business so that my students can be armed with information. And one of the things that happened to us, you know, during slavery is that they gave us soul food, which was the worst part of the pig and the meats and the food that you could ever give. And that's why we have so much high blood pressure and diabetes and all of that stuff, because they fed us basically the wrong food. So if you really want to really think about changing your diet, you should get that book, Eating with Mother Nature by Dick Gregory, and look at Dr. Sebi. And because, you know, slavery, I mean, we heard Kanye talking about slavery was a choice, but we really didn't have a choice.
No.
And
Amen.
Thank God those folks, our elders, our ancestors had the fiber and the internal discipline to handle slavery, because we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Amen.
But what slavery did do to them diet-wise, because I know the first time I told my aunt Alma, I said, I don't eat pork no more. She said, oh Lord, baby, well, how you gonna survive? So you ain't eating, so you don't want none of that pig feet and the chillings I got in there. Like, man, I'm gonna tell y'all the honest God, I still miss a little bit of chillings and pig feet.
Yeah,
and a good ass pork chop. Can I say ass?
Yeah, you can say it.
But I haven't had pork in 40 years. So if I eat it, I'm gonna have to go right to the hospital. So if you really, really, really want to be in the arts, or you want to live longer, and again, the biggest habit I had was stop smoking them damn Black & Milds, which is a bad habit that I picked up. I was doing a movie called Buffalo Soldiers. I couldn't ride horses, so all the cool cats was on their horses riding, and they had this cigar. I'm like, hell, I'm gonna get me a cigar. and I couldn't ride. They had to take us a riding class. So they said Cliff ride like he had epilepsy. I'm on the horse. And then the director said, we're gonna go on a trot. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, I can't trot. I'm like, but I held on to my cigar and I got hooked. Glenn Turman and all those guys, man, they smoke. So that's one of the worst habits, and I'm trying to break that. But I mean, really, to in this new millennial age, you got to take care of yourself.
Amen.
And get that book, Eating with Mother Nature by Dick Gregory.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna stop right there.
And actually, Angie Stone has joined in. The way on the setup, but can't really pull her in. Ain't nothing pull her in. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna get this stuff straight, and we're gonna have Angie on as well.
And just so y'all know, Lionel Richie be here when we get back to it. But if he's not here, it's because he over there making all that damn noise.
he said Lionel Richie gonna be here.
I'm joking, y'all. Don't y'all run down here on Shirley Street. Crackheads get you right down at the gas station.
Yeah, don't be calling me.
Don't start by that gas station on the corner. Try to cash in your checks.
But seriously, he's right. Don't stop at that gas station. I gotta get hard.
All right, y'all. We'll be back in a minute.